Hi, welcome back to MBA Solutions. I'm Stravan, Assistant Professor, VVCE, MBA Department, Mysuru. If you are not subscribed our channel, please press subscribe button and bell icon for notification. In our last few videos, we have discussed on selling skills. In that, we have discussed on communication skill, listening skill, as well as conflict negotiation skill. We'll continue with the selling skills on negotiation skills. In this video, we are going to learn and understand first the meaning of negotiation, theories and principles of negotiation, and lastly, negotiation tactics. First, let us understand what is negotiation. Negotiation is a process of communication in which the parties aims to send a message to the other party so that he can influence each other. Negotiation occur when someone else has what you want and you are prepared to bargain for it, and vice versa also. Something that we do all the time, not only for the business purpose, usually considered as compromise to settle an argument or issue to benefit ourselves as much as possible. Not always between the two people. It can involve several people. For an example, you want to join, let's say, a company XYZ company. Now, whether you will bargain or whether you negotiate with the company with a salary and benefit or not, that is the negotiation. Next is theory and principles of negotiation. Roger Fisher and William Urey, in a research project on Harvard negotiation project, proposed a bargaining strategy which are popularly known as principled negotiation. In their project, they have four principles for conducting principled negotiation. First is separate the people from problem. Second is focus on interest, not on position. Third is invent option for mutual gain. Fourth is insist on objective criteria. Let's discuss and understand one by one each principled negotiation. First is separating the people from the problem. We should recognize that problem has got two components. First is the relationship, second is the issue. Majority of the time, both the components are combined together or closely binded together. The problem with the people is we do not separate it. And also the problem has got three elements which should be kept in mind when we go for the negotiation. First is different perception. Second is emotions. Third is communication. Different perceptions among parties. Everyone has got their own reality. The common problem is that we misunderstand or misinterpret others' intention. It is important to see other person perspective also. And the fact that we should agree is that what we understand is something else and what we agree is something else. So it is better try to understand other person's viewpoint by putting yourself in the other place. Now, emotions. The key element of principled negotiation is to recognize and understand emotions of yours as well as others also. When you express your emotion, the emotion should be explicit. That is, it should be clear as well as straightforward, and at the same time acknowledge or accept the other person's emotions as legitimate, that is valid, and try to understand that all emotions are valid. Do not think that your emotion is right and other person's emotion is wrong. So it is better to accept other parties emotions are right even though you do not agree or understand them also. And also please try to understand their emotion source. what is the reason for their emotions. So it is better to allow other side to express their emotions. And finally, do not react to emotion of the other persons. With respect to communication, clarity in this area should be there while solving the problem. Basically, the problem found in the people is that people do not listen, they do not hear, or lastly, they may misunderstand or misinterpret. So, it is better to communicate clearly so that the other person can understand, and also actively listen to the other person. Give the speaker your full attention. Occasionally summarize the other party's point to confirm your understand. And when you communicate, your communication should be directed towards the other party. Do not communicate sitting in one angle and the other party is sitting in another angle. And finally, focus on what you are trying to communicate. Now, second principle is focus on interest, not on position. Here, position or what you want it, interest or why you want it. Let's take an example and understand. Two sisters fighting for the only orange that they had in the family. His sister wanted the entire orange for herself only. Anything less than that, which is impossible for them. A wise parent asked each of the girl why she wanted the orange. One told she wanted to have a juice out of it. Another girl told that she wanted to make a special cake using the covering layer of the orange. Now the question is how to solve it. Using this principle, here we need to focus on why they wanted, not on what they wanted. The solution is give the covering layer of the orange after the juice has been squeezed out of the orange, thus meeting the interest of the both the girls. Here we are focused on why they wanted. One girl wanted for the juice, another girl wanted for the to make a special cake. We are not focused on what they want. If we focus on position, it will put us to fight against each other, which is not good. Rather than that, if we focus on interest, negotiation will be easy. So, for that purpose only, people should distinguish between position and interest. At the same time, if we focus on position, our ego will come into play, which will make negotiation difficult. But if we focus on interest, it can able to lead into collaboration and work together for better relationship as well as for the better result. And lastly, if we focus on position, only arguments will come. But if we focus on interest, will lead to win-win situation. So best way to negotiate is to ask the party why he wanted that only, that is holding the position, and explain your interest to him clearly and discuss that interest with the party so that you can get the solution. And lastly, focus on your interest only, but remain open for different proposal. Third principle is invent option for mutual gain. When using the principal negotiation method, generating option is very difficult. Usually, the problem that we encountered while generating the option can be categorized into four problems. The first problem is people decide prematurely on an option, thereby failing to consider alternatively. That is, usually people stick on to the one solution itself only, whatever the initial solution that they have got, no, that itself only they will stick on to that. So it is very difficult for them to get the further solution. Second problem that we encounter is at times people focus too much that have a very limited option, that is very narrow. So again we encounter to get the solution. And the third is they define the problem where one party is going to win and another party is going to be in a losing situation. That should not be the strategy to get the more and more option. It should be a win-win situation. Lastly, people think that always that it is the other person responsibility to get the solution. It is not my responsibility. That is why again we are failing to get the all the solution for the given problem. Now the question is how to overcome the problem or how to generate the maximum possible solution for a given problem. The first way we can do is brainstorming, that is discussing with the other party or with the people whom you know to get the maximum possible solution for a given problem. Whatever the solution that you have generated, you evaluate that solution only. Don't focus on the other solution. And whatever the solution that you have generated, it should be promising or viable or practically implemented. And lastly, that solution should have a mutual gain. It should not be in a condition where one party is going to be in a winning situation and the other party should be in a losing condition. And finally, whatever the solution that you have generated, it should be of low cost for you and high benefit for the other party. Next and the last principle is insist on objective criteria. The main goal is to reach the solution based on the principle, not on the pressure. When you use principled negotiation, it produces agreements amicably and efficiently. That means both the party are in win-win situation and not in win-lose situation. Now the question is how to get it. We can get it by developing an objective criteria, by establishing some standard, some procedure. Say for an example, you thought of buying a car for 2 lakh rupees in Mysore. Now, if the retailer says that more than 2 lakh, will you buy? No, but instead you will negotiate the price that is prevailing in the market. And secondly, you will also follow some procedure to buy also. If there is any deviation, will you buy? No. That means if the price is too high or some rules and regulation which is not there, that means you are comparing the standard and the procedure while negotiating. So that means when you go for the negotiation, you should have a clear objective with the established standard and procedure. The second is never yield to pressure, but negotiate on principle only. And lastly, be open. If there is any option that is available better than the present, then you select that itself only. So for that purpose, you should be open. Thank you for watching this video on negotiation skill. In our next video, we'll continue our negotiation skill with negotiation tactics. We'll meet again. Until then, thank you.